Welcome. It is episode 6. Mm-hmm. Is it 6? I'm not good at counting,
I'm not
Mitchell.
either. I think it's
1, 2, 3, 4,
6 or 7.
6.
Yeah, maybe 8. Who knows?
Anyway, we thought we had a merge.
Yeah.
We thought everybody was merged.
Yes.
And, of course, Jeff's like, ha!
Yeah.
You thought you were merged.
Yeah, sorry.
But, we open up. Mitch realizes he's way out of the loop.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, but at the same time, that's the game.
Yeah,
you know?
I mean, if you don't know what's going on several times in a row, the writing is on the wall.
Yeah, and I know that's your buddy. I know that was your number one, but bro, you better find a new one because his name's already. He's worried his name's already out there. And
it's got to be, right?
It has to be.
It's got to be out there because if you're not in a core alliance by this point, you need, you ain't got one, you need get one.
And Joe even makes the comment of, he's like, I watch Mitch. I watch him.
Right.
He's great. He's social. He says, how do you take that guy to the end?
Yeah, exactly. He's got a great story and all of that. That's
and I'm rooting for Mitch. I hope Mitch can dig his way out because I do love Mitch's story. I think he's a great competitor, but his social game needs work, clearly, because he was blindsided,
Right. And, he put his trust in folks that everybody else wasn't too keen on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And she says, I'm the cat with 9 lives.
Yeah.
Which I agree at this point.
She is.
She's been doing it and, coming back with, votes every time. Yeah. Right? So.
And Say did a brilliant move where she wrote Cedric's name in cursive.
Yes.
So that
I was
threw
bring that
Cedric completely off. I'm sorry, it just popped in my brain from watching the episode again last night. And that was very smart. I've not heard a survivor change their handwriting style just to mess with people. Because Cedric's very smart, and he's like, that's a woman's handwriting. That's not a, So that was a good strategy.
I have thought of that before.
Yeah.
I've thought, and I've tried to watch to see whose handwriting it is. Mm-hmm. Even at home, right? I'm like looking to see, okay, that looks like, because they'll show people writing in the booth, right?
Yeah, but they never finish. It's
never finish.
A letter or two for you to get the gist of who they're voting for.
Yeah.
I miss Ice Cream Scooper Eric because he always drew stuff on the thing, like that was so recognizable. Like, yep, that's Eric's vote because it's bold or it's got a picture on it or something.
Right.
That was unique.
But everybody knew who Eric voted for.
Yeah, that's true.
There was no, hey, I didn't cast that vote. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you do that, you have to own your vote.
Oh, for sure. Mm-hmm. So Mitch is trying to do some damage control with Joe and Shaheen. Like you said, Joe knows Mitch could win, and Mitch is going to be a big threat here moving forward.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sai came to say. So why do I insist?
I don't know. I have no idea.
It's the SAI that gets me, right?
You're thinking of like Sai.
The Sai. Is she Raphael of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like, that's what I think of when I see SAI, right?
You're an 80s baby, man.
That's how you spell it, right?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
No, you're right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
it's Say.
I'm sorry, Say.
Sorry, Say.
But Say came to Shaheen and broke it all down. She's a straightforward player. Mm-hmm. I think she's a very, very strong player.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You have to be to get your name written down that long and still climbing to the top. She's not giving up, and I respect her for that. Right. Most people that get that many votes, they're done mentally. They're just like, screw it, I'm done. But she's still fighting. She's still still trying. And I think even Shaheen said if I would have met this person earlier or we've been on the same tribe, I could have worked with someone like her.
Absolutely. And it's all about tribe draw, right? Yep. Sometimes, because even if you make it to a merge or the merge or, whatever it is these days, you still have to garner new relationships, and you hope that they are strong enough to bring you further into the game.
Yes.
But if you're on one of these tribes that just goes to tribal council again and again and again, it's tough. And if you're you're 3 or 4 that get out of that situation and into a merge are tight, like the what was it? The 3 of Jam Jam and Carolyn and NASA Kid. I can never remember his name.
I forget his name. I loved him, though. He's a great competitor.
Oh, yeah, he was great.
Yeah, those 3, they
ended super tight.
Yeah, and they ended up running a little bit. That's what I've always said. If you're in the middle in the merge, you have the power. Because if it's 6 versus 5, you decide who goes. If you're that tribe of 3 who kept losing challenges left and right, if you make it to the merge, your tribe of 3 is very powerful.
Right, yeah. And if you've got a tight 3,
you can go
that's
far.
A big advantage because in this era of voting blocks, all of that shifts from week to week.
Yes.
And so if you have a tight 3 that's voting together, that's a powerhouse.
Yes, and that's
and Say
hard
didn't
to
have
break
that.
No, she didn't have that. Well, Say didn't have that. Cedric didn't have that. Those poor, even the tribe swap, they lost. When they went to Green, this is Green's first victory. No, they lost. So, and I'll just say my heart goes out to Mitch because he just Well, we'll get to that after the challenge.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's the grip challenge.
Yeah, classic Survivor.
Right. And I heard Jeff talking about this somewhere about how these what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Stamina challenges.
Endurance
challenges that you don't break it unless it's you don't fix it unless it's broken.
Exactly.
And so there's not many of these that they can come up with that are new that are going to stand the test of time. So you see these endurance challenges over and over. And I think last season somebody said, I strictly trained grip strength.
Yes. That was the NASA kid. Yes.
Was it? Okay.
Yes, he trained grip strength for that challenge.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I think he won it.
Yes, he did. And another classic is where they're standing. They have to stand like on the side of their feet on the thing, then they go down to the next level. And so that's another classic endurance. I mean, at the end of the day, it's how much pain can you tolerate. And we saw that in this great episode, great challenge.
Oh, it's a great challenge.
Two men broke the record from Gabler.
Yeah.
And I loved Gabler's challenge where he's like, this minute's for my mom, this minute's for my dad. I loved that, but these boys came to play, son. And they did.
For sure.
They did.
But the other one, before we move on, the other endurance challenge that I see that I know I will not win.
What is that one, Tom?
I will never, ever win it, is the one where you're on the pole.
Oh, and you've got to bear hug it.
And you got to bear hug it, and your toes are on a little ledge.
Yeah, that would suck. Yeah.
And, it doesn't look like very high, right? And I think the
camera,
heights, the heights is what's going to get me more than maybe trying to bear hug that thing, because I think I could hold on for a long time.
Yeah.
It's the height.
Well, in the rain too,
and you're sweating.
Yeah, my fat ass to get up there and get struck by lightning or something, because that's my luck,
I'd start sweating and just slide down it or something.
Yeah, my armpits would be a waterfall on the top of that thing. I'd
be shaking because I'm scared of heights. I don't like heights. Any kind of height, even ladders, I can't do.
And another challenge, since we're bringing this up, another
Sure.
challenge is the one where they have to hold. They're in water, and they got to like the tide's coming in, and they got to hold the bar, and they got to stay. Whoever can stay underwater longest wins. No, fear of drowning. No, I'm done. And I remember one season, Philip was just like, I'm not doing that because I about drowned as a kid, and I cannot do that. So
yeah, I remember that.
I respect that because I would be terrified. I love water, but I'm not going to, no, not happening, son.
I see that one, and I'm like, I'm winning that challenge.
That's dangerous, man. God, it's dangerous.
I think I could do well in that challenge for some reason. I used to get a lot of migraines, right? Mm-hmm. And so when the migraine would get too bad, I would go into a bathtub and just put my nose and my mouth above the water, and just lay in a very hot tub. And if I could put my mind, somewhere else,
yeah,
I think I could win it.
Yeah,
now
you're
in an ocean.
Yeah, you're preconditioned for that
Right.
challenge.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
yeah.
So, but you're in an ocean, right?
Yeah.
And there's waves, and the tide is coming up. That's the whole challenge.
Yeah, and that's the scary part because you don't know. They can't see. Their head is straight up at the sky, and you're just trying to figure out, But we digress.
It's mind over matter.
Yeah, it is. And that's what this challenge was that we're talking about, the grip challenge. It's mind over matter.
Right.
And I love to see the competitiveness in this challenge. We even get comedic relief in this challenge.
Yeah.
It's full of laughs.
It's so good. So they break them up into two groups, and as soon as they break them up into two groups, there's going to be two tribals.
Yep.
It's a double elimination.
Double immunity, yeah.
Somebody is not going to make the merge.
Yes. What the premise was is that whoever loses first, that person gets voted off. They do not make the jury. Okay, then tribe number 2 comes in, they vote off someone, and that person becomes the first member of the jury. And the tribe who wins the challenge, and I say tribe because they split them up into two groups, orange and purple, I believe, was it? Mm-hmm. So whichever group wins, they get reward. They get food, peanut butter.
Peanut butter jelly time.
Which is the best sandwich ever. Peanut butter and jellies. It is, I would want peanut butter and jelly on Survivor.
If you are in a survival situation and I could pick what I wanted to eat,
peanut butter.
I think peanut butter and jelly sandwiches would be, if not 1 or 2, right?
Yeah.
Give me a rotisserie chicken.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
Right?
Give me some, or steak.
Or like it almost, I would pick peanut butter and jelly over that because, one, your stomach is wrecked.
Yeah.
Because you're starving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right?
And
that's easily digestible, high calorie, in fat and calories and protein.
Yes.
Like, listen.
Well, you got carbs from the bread, you got sugars from the jelly, you got protein from the peanut butter.
It's perfect.
Man, you eat that, you might be a challenge beast next challenge after your body, gets that in its system.
For sure.
So the tribe is split up into two groups, two tribals, two immunities on the line, and then we see the battle. The epic battle and the comedic laughter.
So it ends up Eva and Joe on one side, and Mitch and David on the other side. Now we'll go into orange. The orange side was Joe, Star, Mitch, Chrissy, Say, and Eva. Purple was Cedric, Camilla, Mary, Shaheen, Kyle, and David.
And bro, Cedric didn't even last 22 seconds, man.
And I saw a behind the scenes, like an extra scene on X, right?
Okay.
Where Cedric was like, "I hope this is this challenge." Before,
really,
yeah.
He just sealed his own fate.
I think I could do well.
Yeah. Well, you figured a surgeon.
Exactly.
I mean, he is a surgeon.
He should have strong hands.
Well, he probably doesn't. He probably has to take care of his hands, and his hands are probably delicate because that's the moneymaker.
Yes.
So I'd say he does not have as strong hands as, let's say, the bodybuilder or the firefighter or the sports fanatic or But Cedric's out immediately in the challenge, and he kind of knows that's his. You can see it in his face, like, I'm done. That's his death sentence.
Swan song.
Like, yep.
This is what takes me out. Mm-hmm. And Eva's killing it.
Oh yeah,
right.
She didn't budge like hardly at all at the beginning. That bucket stayed, son.
Yeah. So David and Kyle on purple. Mm-hmm. Mitch drops out. He's the last one on purple. Eva and Joe on the other. And Eva says, "I love competing with you boys."
Yeah.
Because she's one of the strongest people out there, despite her being female, right?
Yeah.
I mean, she's a hockey player, and she's very fit and strong. You can see it.
Oh, my God. She moved half a forest, in a day to get firewood.
For sure. Yeah. So they started smack talking back and forth, and this was my favorite part.
I love it.
And Jeff says something about cue the Survivor battle music,
and Shaheen,
how you jump, and he was like, and Jeff's like, give me some more, and
he's like, I can do this all day, Jeff, baby, and then Kyle's even like, want to work out,
body by Jeff,
and they go straight to the. You should apply for Survivor. That was great,
and they were like, let's do the promo now.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I mean,
for Jeff to include the cast like that was so awesome.
It was really great. It was a great moment. Yeah. The whole challenge was highly entertaining, especially if you're a Survivor fan, because there were a bunch of inside jokes.
Yes.
Like, if you're not a regular Survivor viewer, you might not get the Shaheen,
Well, and Kyle saying, I busted my skin open. It's a blister.
Right.
We learn
the wart, right?
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. He thought it was a blister, but it's a wart, and it busted open. Great episode, and great battle between Joe and David.
Fantastic.
Great battle. They both break the record, Gabler's record.
Eva gets a fly on her
hand.
Knuckle,
I noticed that.
And I think that's when she started slipping. Joe, don't give up. Don't give up.
Yep.
And
encouragement and
it was a good moment.
And even David is telling Joe, like, you got this.
Yeah.
I got this all day.
Let's go.
He's doing his like Fabio poses.
And they're like, this is a fitness shoot out here now. And David's like,
And Mitch is saying we are playing Survivor with superheroes.
Yes.
It's like, and Shaheen kept saying it's like watching The Rock versus Terminator or something like that, Hercules or something.
Right.
So that's going to put a target on them.
Oh, for sure.
That's going to put a target on them. But
it wasn't already.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. But great battle. Sadly, Joe slips. David wins, but Joe still wins immunity.
Yep. And David mentions Joe's kids.
Yes, he does.
He's like, do it for your kids.
Yeah, David wanted a battle. He wanted to battle out even more. Let's go. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's see how long we can do this because they had shattered the record. It went for 44 minutes and then some. Like 49 minutes is how long it went.
I thought they said 52 or 53.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I stand corrected.
I'm pretty sure. Well, I'll have to double check, but I'm pretty sure the record now is 52 or 53 minutes.
Wow.
And that's insane.
That's a long time.
That is insane.
That's 25% of your
pre-game body fat.
Body weight.
Yeah, my fat ass would have dropped, just like Cedric. You know?
So that's, let's see, I'm about 220, 25% of that is like what?
I don't know. Don't ask me to do math. I'm a counselor.
At least 35 pounds.
Yeah.
Right? 45 pounds.
Yeah, but you got to think though. You're on day 14,
and
you're starving.
You've lost 20
weight.
pounds.
You've lost muscle. No, you've lost muscle
mass.
not fat.
Yeah.
You have lost muscle.
Yeah, and people say it takes you years to gain the muscle back that you
and
lose.
I've heard that because we had one player, an old school player, Malcolm, who did back-to-back Survivors.
Yeah, and it killed him.
And he said he had to recover for like 3 years. It took him to recover.
That's crazy.
So the challenge, the record-breaking challenge is over, and then 2 tribes are separated to go to tribal.
So
Purple goes to one beach, and Orange goes to
the old
Siva beach.
Right, and Joe has immunity. Mm-hmm. He's the only one that is actually going to make the merge after we thought we were already merged.
Yes.
And, of course, David, who won the whole thing, he's safe.
Yes.
So it's peanut butter jelly time, right?
Where you at? Where you at? Yeah.
And and it looked delicious.
Yeah.
I would have tore it up.
Yeah.
David wants Cedric, right? That's that was his deal. Joe says back at the old Siva camp, we don't have flint, a machete, or a pot to piss in. Is what I thought.
Yes.
A pot or a pot to piss in. And Say knows that she's on the bottom and she needs to do some work here, and she goes up to Joe, who
she has who she's never
talked to. Like should we talk? And she has a conversation with Joe. Say tells Eva that she's on Mitch. Eva's looking at Say, who she say causes chaos, but is also looking at Mitch, so we don't know, right?
And then doesn't Chrissy even run up to Say and say, I'm voting Mitch. Like I want him out and stuff and all that.
That's what made her feel safe. Mm-hmm. Chrissy made her feel safe.
She did, because she knew. Because Say even says, Chrissy's votes are honest. Like if she tells you she's going to vote for somebody, she's going to do it. And Say broke down Chrissy's votes.
Right.
Like when she said she was going to vote for person A, she did it.
Right.
So Chrissy is playing the game.
Right. And it should have been an indication that Chrissy lied through her teeth.
Exactly.
When she got to tribal council and said, at some point, I'm going to lie to all of you, and the game will be on.
And Star's like, I'm going to lie. Not tonight, but I'm going to lie. Yeah.
Oh, Star. She's a star.
Star
is a star. Now, this is what Kyle and Camilla were talking about in the promo. They're going to kind of set Shaheen up that maybe he got an idol somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. And the promo was like, we're going to frame Shaheen. And
I don't know whether that's framing him.
Yeah, they
kind of overplayed that.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do a lot more shady stuff than what they did.
Yeah, come on.
But I think the position they took, and we'll get to this at Tribal soon, but I think the position that they took was they're smart. I think they had to stop and take a deep breath and say, okay, what do we need to do?
Right.
Because you're caught up in the moment sometimes.
Yeah. And again, we're right here at the precipice of the jury, and you want to make a right decision.
Yeah. Yeah. An
easy decision.
Yes. And that's not the time to do a blindside and make a big move.
Right.
It's the time to figure out, like, okay, and keep in mind, folks, this is the tribe that when they vote someone out, they are not getting on the jury.
Right.
And that has to be on everyone's minds. Jeff even asked that at their tribal council. And it had to be. It had to be, who is the one person I do not want voting for me for $1 million? At the end of the day, you have to do that.
And and Say is an emotional player.
Yes, she is.
And so,
and if you get to the end and you backstabbed her, you're not going to have her vote.
Yeah, you're not getting that vote.
She's going to advocate against you every chance of the way because you screwed her over. So
for sure.
So Say gets voted out.
Now, hold on. Oh my God, Jeff is on Club Condo again.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Nobody knows what Club Condo is. Jeff Probst, could you please release a video explaining what it is the hell you're talking about? Because I don't know. Nobody I have heard knows.
Know. It must be a city thing, man. I don't know.
Like we said, it must be some
city slick party or
rich
something.
folks, condos up in the Hamptons or some.
They're drinking
garbage.
their champagne and
right,
but
breaking out a little bit of the bubbly.
Yeah, but Jeff starts dancing it.
Yeah. Oh, he's bossa nova over there.
Yeah.
And I said Chrissy may have messed up bringing up the deception, and she's getting lots of looks.
She blew her game.
Oh, for sure.
Blew her game. Because now she knows, like everyone knows, can't trust Chrissy.
Yeah. Chrissy's going to lie to us. She said it in tribal council.
And the people who want to play the game honest, they're going to come together and say, all right, she's out.
Yeah,
when you knowingly know you have an alliance of people who want to play an honest game, you do not blow up your game by saying, I'm going to lie to everyone.
Right.
That's not how you play Survivor. You say, yeah, I want an honest game too, man, and you got a dagger waiting for their back.
Right.
That's Survivor.
And you don't stab them until you got to.
Exactly.
So she'll be gone.
Yeah,
here soon.
Yeah, she sunk her game. I think she sunk her game. Tom, what do you think?
That's what I said. Yeah. She messed up.
Yeah, she's
messed up, and
she will have damage control next episode.
And my mouth, if for some reason I'm ever on Survivor, it's gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna have to watch what I say, and
me too,
because at times I'm emotional.
Well, when you're hungry and tired, and you're not thinking clearly all the time,
right?
And that's easy for us to sit here and say, if I was on Survivor, I'd do this. Yeah. Well, go starve 14 days and see how you'd interact in a social setting,
right? And then not sleep,
not sleep,
and not bathe and brush your teeth and all of these things.
Yeah, all the commodities we take granted,
right?
Yeah, my mouth would get me in trouble. Yeah, Wyoming County would come out on Fiji for sure.
And man.
But then we get to the next tribal.
So
the first tribe leaves.
Did get her vote blocked.
Yes,
though.
that's what I was going to say.
So Mitch used the block of votes, so that is out of play, and he really didn't even need to use it.
But I think he did it. Didn't he tell someone he had a block of vote? I think he just did that.
It was well known.
I
think it was well known that he had one because during the merge feast, somebody told,
somebody asked,
and I'm sure it got back to him. So I think out of a show of good faith,
better to burn it now.
Because
that's another target.
And show, hey, I'm with you all. Let's start from now.
I think he showed that as a sign of loyalty. Like, I will block her vote, use my block of vote to stick with you guys.
Right. So Say is gone. I am still kind of sad about that. She was one of the most entertaining survivors of the season.
She's very much she's Chaos Cass on steroids, son. She truly is. And I love Cass's play.
Right.
I think honestly, I think if she'd have got on a different tribe, she could have won the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And if she doesn't get that season 50 call, there's a reason that we don't know.
She'll be back as a villain for sure.
There's a reason that we haven't seen, right?
Yeah,
either something behind the scenes that happened with her, or something or another, right? If we don't see her again, there's a reason. But the next group, Cedric, we see Cedric and Shaheen vote for each other, and so we're not sure, what's going to happen here. Votes come out.
And poor old Shaheen's just doing his deep breathing exercises, and which I would be too. But Shaheen's nervous because Shaheen's name's never been written down before. Right. Now he's getting a taste of the real game, and now he's worried. Yeah.
Welcome to Survivor. So
now let me ask you this: do you think they should have got Shaheen out?
He's a dangerous player. He's a dangerous man, and Cedric is not.
Cedric's an easy vote.
Now, somehow he tripped into a power position in the former tribe.
Yeah.
And was the deciding vote several times, 3 or 4 times. Cedric decided personally who went home.
Yeah, he was in the middle with the pizza guy. What was his name?
Yeah. Jason or Justin or
but Justin lied to him, and then So at the next tribal, 2 tribals.
Shaheen, Cedric. That's enough.
Yep.
And Cedric goes home. First member of the jury is Cedric. Now, he's going to be a level-headed guy.
I think, yes. And I think Cedric is that person that you want on the jury because he's not going to look at it from an emotional standpoint. He's calm, cool, and calculating. I think that Cedric will be a great jury member because of just his mannerisms and what I've come to see on him on Survivor. He's very smart and he's very observant.
Right.
Cedric will probably ask those big questions about their game and why they did what they did and all of that because he truly wants to give the best player $1 million.
Exactly. That's the surgeon in him.
Yeah, I don't see Cedric being like, you voted me out, I'm not giving you my vote. I don't see that.
Right.
I really don't. I could be wrong, but I don't see it.
You never know, but I think Cedric's going to be a level-headed guy. He's going to make an analytical decision, and that's who you want, in my opinion, because you saw.
Well, it's cost so many great players.
Yeah, there was
their game because the jury hates them.
I can't remember. Was it 47 that the kid lost because his number one didn't vote for him?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Out of spite?
Yep. Out of spite. Yep.
And he lost the whole game because of that.
He lost one vote. Yes.
So, anyway, next time on Survivor. David's losing his mind.
No. Let's break it down.
All right.
Kyle and, what's her name?
Camilla?
Kyle and Camilla, they had a plan to frame Shaheen.
Right.
So Camilla lies to David about the idol. And now David's kind of figuring out this woman is trouble.
Okay.
So I think that is why he's going insane and after Camilla, because he's calling her out. You said he had an idol. He didn't.
Right.
What's the deal? I think Camilla and Kyle's secret alliance might be blown up this next episode.
It's possible. And I think she didn't say, hey, I think he has an idol. She said he laid back while everybody else was gone.
Yeah, she planted that seed.
And so I think that's a very smart move to not say, I think he has an idol, but he might have something.
She made him think that he has the idol. She never said that. She made him think that. That's dangerous.
And so
and I love her for
dangerous,
doing it.
But it's also the safer move rather than saying, I think he has an idol, because she can be like, well, I just noticed he wasn't here. That's all I said.
Yeah.
But
she can honestly say, I never said he had an idol.
Right.
Because she never did.
Yeah.
But I think that's why David's going nuts.
Well, it's possible because Camilla's quote in the promo is, he's the biggest idiot on this beach.
Yeah. Because he's figured you out. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
We'll see next time on Survivor. All right. Well, the holler has spoken. Do you have anything else?
No, I just want to. This was a really great episode.
It was.
Record shattered, laughter, a little bit of strategy going on. I love Chrissy's quote, if we're all kumbaya, who's going to get the $1 million at the end? That's very true, man.
Yeah.
That time is coming, but they're wanting to make big moves too early,
Maybe.
But they might, this honest game that they want to play,
it's
I don't think it's going to be honest that much longer. We might get 1 or 2 episodes, then they're going to cut throats. So
or you're going to get left behind.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because people are going to start to get cutthroat and ruthless here. This is the nature of the game that they're playing.
This is my favorite part of the game. Post merge is the best part of Survivor.
Yeah, you can. And the only reason I didn't just half watch these episodes is because I'm doing this podcast, right? I really don't even zone in on anything until post-merge.
Well,
that's when the real game starts.
I watch to figure out who's aligned with who, and I try to keep track of that and stuff, because post-merge you do have to have like a data sheet of these guys were on tribe together, they swapped, they went on a feast together. You do have to keep up with that because it can be confusing at times. Come merge, but merge when the individual game kicks, that's when I love this show truly.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But I'm saying like pre-merge, I barely know who the people's names are.
Yeah, me too. I'm just like, oh, that guy. I like him. Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Hope he makes it.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Right? So, all right. Good deal. Well, we'll see you. The holler had a little bit more to say.
Yeah.
But we have spoken. We'll see you next week.